hot, streamy summer. Get it? Streamy? Get the joke?
I get it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
okay.
Okay.
Hey folks, so the laptop I was streaming off of just decided that it was time to update and simply crashed and restarted for updates in the middle of that. Hello. Sorry about that. Yeah, if that laptop was decided it was time to update, and nobody was going to stop it. So that was interesting. I'm going to finish out the story over here. That is the power of Golem magic, Fubuwu. I guess. Yeah, so I'm just going to grab the pages and be right back. Yeah. So that was interesting. I am just updating the stream name here. All right. Anyway, so before the laptop decided that it was time to update and no one could stop it, we were just past where some of the Speakers of Lies were being turned into abominations, even as they formed a battle line. And were whispering threats in their melodic. I'm not sure exactly where it cut off, so I'm just going to go from that paragraph. All right. So, as we were saying, the speakers saw that the slaves who had given their bodies to form the walls of treasure houses were getting up and walking away. Abandoning the scramble to get their belongings out of the storm, the shadowy figures gathered together into a battle line. Blades and whips appeared from the clouds of darkness, who whispered threats in their melodic voices. The fires roared higher, tall towers collapsing as the golems gathered into a loose group and started to look around. In the bright fires, they could see the winding mountain road that led out, away from the City of Lies. The line of dark opponents stood across their path, spitting curses at the slaves. For a long moment, the clay giants hesitated, looking at one another in the flickering red light and the spouts of steam. Far above, lightning crackled with magic, and the dark clouds billowed in a hot wind. The moment shattered as one newly awakened golem stepped forward. With a cry that matched the thunder, he hurled a massive chunk of stone into the massed ranks of darkness. There was a scream, and then the golems all rushed forward as one. They crashed into the speakers with tremendous force, but their overlords wielded vicious weapons. Blood and ashes burst into the air as the golems struggled to reach the mountain road. After a few moments, Maharal broke free through a gap in the line, careless of the deep wounds in her legs, which leaked steaming blood and smoke into the air. She led the golems at a hobbling run, taking the steep path without slowing. A few golems lay still on the ground, spilling hot coals. A few shadows quivered here and there, crushed by the giant's desperate charge. Behind them, the former overseer of the Kiln of Ur lay crushed and broken, unable to hold onto this reality any longer. The speaker of lies melted into thick smoke and disappeared through cracks in the earth, returning to the depths, which demanded its share of the old bargain and reclaimed him as its own. Running up the path out of the dissipating storm, the golems found themselves in daylight for the first time. It was a gentle, warm light, so unlike the fires and moons that had lit their work for all their lives. They were outside the city, which lay smoking behind them in crumbled ruins. Some magic still struggled to show the castles still standing, an army massing below on the plain that would ride out and recapture the slaves. However, the golems saw through these illusions easily. Falsity and shadows melted from their eyes like the smoke that they blew from their mouths. The Kilnborn set off to find a new life. Maharal, who walked with difficulty but no end of dignity, eventually came to the front of the camp and blew a spout of smoke into the air. Following her signal, the golems trod onward, over the mountains and crags. When the golem finished speaking, he simply stopped. There was silence as he stood there, waiting for the historian to finish writing. His eyes still burned with an inner fire, but they were like soft embers, remembering. The soft scritch-scratch of the historian's pen finally stopped, and he plucked up a piece of crinkling paper to wipe away the excess ink. He glanced up with a faraway look. A beautiful story, friend. But how does it end? How did you come here, to Arthur's realm? What is your name, and the name of your beautiful but empty village? The sharp laughter of the massive golem spat sparks as he turned and waved at the village. In response, the walls and buildings all around melted, collapsing into mounds that rose again as ashy clay giants, smiling and blowing curls of smoke into the air. The village is not empty, friend. It was merely our afternoon rest. Before I tell you the next part of the story, join my family for a meal. I am called Yosef. And that, my friends, is the end of part 2. You can find this, like all of our stories, on the lore section of our website. Thanks for listening. I will hopefully we can return in part 3 at some future story time with Max. Join us on stream tomorrow. I believe we're going to have some cool stuff, some cool environment art with Tyler. Here, I'll give you. I'll have Mubot give you the link, as he always does. I'm glad you like the golems, Odilvik. Yes, so tomorrow we are going to have world building with Tyler. As I said, environment art, and brief office stream, and then sound design with DB again, which is always fun to watch and especially listen to. So, once again, thanks for joining me and having patience through the streaming laptop's decision to that it was going to update now, and no one could stop it. So See you later. Thanks a lot.